Good Sunday morning to you. Good Sunday morning, and welcome to the January 15th edition of the OBX Wave Report, where we discuss all things waves, weather, climate, and beach lifestyle. And for today, we're going to be talking a lot about waves and weather, as we have a strong offshore low pressure system in the range of about 980 millibars, bringing in some near gale force to gale force winds in the coastal environment to the near offshore environment for the Outer Banks. And so the waves out there on the north facing beaches are big, and it is really chilly just generally here with temperatures in the mid 30s, and with those strong winds it feels a lot colder, especially since it is relatively damp down here with the oceanic flow of moisture in that cold air. The wind chills are definitely really far down there. You probably want to make sure you have your cold weather protection in full swing. Your hoodie, your booties, your gloves, your wetsuits in the proper thickness if you do go out there and brave that gnarly 4 to 9 foot surf on the northern beaches of the Outer Banks today. And what we are looking at now is the beautiful geocolor composite image provided by NOAA. And we can see that large storm system swirling off the US East Coast here in this mass of white. And occasionally, I guess you can see some hints of the ocean surface peeking through beneath. And then to the east of that, there is a very contiguous frontal boundary running from south to north. Huge stream of moisture out there in the North Atlantic. I haven't really checked up on it today, but I'm pretty sure that's heading up toward Greenland and getting pulled atop a big old high pressure system out across probably just north of the UK and Ireland. But I guess we'll take a look at that later, possibly in a special report today. Looking out west, we have another storm system impacting California, and I was looking at the models earlier, and I just do want to note that it looks like there's two. This storm is one of two predicted to strike California over the next couple of days. And then the models over looks like about the 3 to 10 day time frame, even into the later period, appear to show a respite in the storm. So it looks like California might get two more and then might get a break. Let's hope that's the case. The models have been trending in that direction. I've been reporting on it for a number of days now, and it does look like, at least for the global forecast system model, that there is a prediction of tamping down and abatement of the severe storms that we have seen, this barrage of storms that we have seen for California. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope. But for the meantime, please, those of you who are in California, please stay tuned to your local weather service providers and your local emergency management, and please stay safe as those storms continue to swirl in off the much warmer than normal Pacific Ocean. It's providing a lot of energy for those storms. All right, so let's go to the infrared satellite. And we can see the low pressure system here swirling off the mid-Atlantic, heading toward the northeast, and the massive stream of moisture running up here toward Newfoundland and then making that right turn across Baffin Bay. And behind that system, we've got these howling winds here in the Outer Banks coming out of the north, and it's just cold. It's got that East Coast nor'eastery winter feel to it. I remember growing up in Virginia Beach experiencing days like this, and it's you got that heavy cold feel to the air, heavy cold damp, and it's moving. It's hitting you. It's like a it's like a chili mallet hitting you in the face, like a big wet cold kiss from the Atlantic Ocean. All right. So in any case, yeah, we've got that thing. And then on the west coast here, we've got that stream of moisture that I was talking to you about, another series of storms running in here and impacting California. Okay, so moving on to the National Weather Service or radar and the alerts, we can see that most of the storms are impacting the Northeast here. And this is, I don't know, probably coming in the form of some of it probably coming in the form of frozen precipitation. I know we had some spotty kind of flurry-ish frozen precipitation here in the Outer Banks yesterday. Nothing accumulated. It was just a couple of ice pellets that fell from the sky. But in any case, near gale force conditions along the coast. Gale warnings are in full force in the coastal waters just offshore with very strong winds. And those alerts are coming up. Oh, it looks like we got an update. And also cold temperatures in the middle 30s. This particular observation showing 33. We've got the coastal observation showing 35, so lower to middle 30s apparently. Now, getting down to our direct observations, I would like to note that most of the high, heavy surf action is happening on the northern beaches, so the northeast facing beaches here from say, well, we'll say just from S turns here on northward through Duck and on up into southeastern Virginia. So all these northeast facing beaches are experiencing big waves, generally in the range of 4 to 9 feet. Some locations seeing smaller waves like in the range of 4 to 6 feet. Many locations seeing waves in the range of 4 to 7 feet. I saw one location over at Bath House in the range of, I believe it was 5 to 9 feet in one of the local reports. Um, very, very heavy surf out there, very gnarly coming in off the North Atlantic with those gale force winds and very cold. So yeah, if you do get out there, it's a lot of pretty gnarly conditions for you. I'm going to start out at Jeanette's Pier as I usually do, and we did get some footage of heavy surf at Jeanette's Pier yesterday. And for today, right now, the reports coming in from Jeanette's Pier, I haven't been out there yet, and we'll see if we can get an observation for you guys. But the waves are coming in at 4 to 6 feet according to the local observations. The primary swell is coming in at 10 seconds with a secondary swell at 7 seconds. With those 4 to 6 foot waves, winds are out of north-northwest at 32 miles per hour. That's just brutal coming in at a near gale force condition. The ocean surface out there right now must look really gnarly with all that foam and those big old wave tops just getting hurled all over the place. The air temperature is 35 degrees Fahrenheit, ocean water temperature 51. That's cold on top of cold, so make sure you have your cold weather gear. Weather forecast is cloudy to clearing to partly cloudy conditions by later in the day, near gale force winds, cold with a high expected today of 41 degrees Fahrenheit. As we look later on in the week, things are expected to moderate a bit and get warmer, and the winds are supposed to tamp down, but right now we're just getting all of the cold and all of the wind. Moving on north up to Avalon Pier, we've been going north because that's where the waves are, so we're just going to go on north past colorful local place called Biscuits and Porn. Yep, I didn't name it, don't blame me. In any case, yes, we're going to go up to Avalon Pier and get some observations there. It's pretty big out there at Avalon, although Bathhouse, I believe, is the big wave spot for the Outer Banks today at 4 to 9 feet. Maybe I should have done an observation there, but I wanted to pick Avalon Pier, so we're just going to have to be happy with that. But in any case, the waves are in the range of 5 to 8 feet at Avalon Pier, so big, heavy waves out there, big, dark, foamy, burly North Atlantic cold winter waves rolling in there with a primary period of 10 seconds and a secondary period also of 10 seconds. 10 seconds coming in at, I guess, different intervals. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 33 miles per hour. In fact, given the high angle of this beach toward the north, that is a cross-shore flow. So if you look at the angle of the beach, the winds are basically lining up with the edge of the beach, possibly even coming in with a slight onshore angle. Air temperatures are 35 degrees Fahrenheit, so cold. Ocean water temperatures 50 degrees Fahrenheit, also cold. And the weather conditions for Avalon Pier, expected weather conditions for the day are cloudy to clearing, near gale force, winds coming out of the north and northwest, cold with an expected high of 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I wanted to go on south to show you guys something interesting. So I'm a little bit of a weather and wave and just observational nerd. I'm interested in data. Data's fascinating to me, especially when it comes to weather and waves. So we're going to go on down south here using our Google Maps for observational purposes. And we are going to go on past the Hatteras Island area. We're going to turn left onto Route 12 at Buxton and head on down to our favorite airport on the Outer Banks, this historic location, Billy Mitchell Airport. And we're going to get some different observations because things are actually a little fascinating down here at Billy Mitchell. Waves at Billy Mitchell are 2 to 3 feet, and that's expected. We've got these winds coming out of the north-northwest here at, let's see, that would be about this angle at 26 mile per hour. So that's a very strong offshore flow. The swells that are coming in are having to fight against that wind to get there. And what I wanted to look at here specifically, I don't typically do wave heights with the swells, the various swells that are coming in. But at Billy Mitchell right now, we've got 3 swells. And the primary swell is coming in at 11 seconds at this kind of angle here. So coming in from the southeast toward the beach. And the height of that swell is 1.7 feet. And that's the mostly rideable swell there that's coming in. And the secondary swell is coming in at this weird kind of like cross shore, almost cross and offshore angle. And it's at 10 seconds and it's at 3 feet, but most of that swell is heading offshore. So you've got an onshore flow that's fighting in against a taller cross shore flow. And then the tallest flow is coming in almost directly offshore. And that's at 8 seconds. And that is a 6.5-foot swell. So if you stand on the beach at Billy Mitchell Airport, you see some relatively, I mean, you see some breaking waves, in the 1 to 2 foot range, definitely rideable. But standing on the beach, you're going to see the ocean kind of ripple, do this kind of ripply thing as those bigger swells get picked up by that really strong offshore wind and pushed out to sea. And yeah, it's kind of cool when that happens because you can see almost the horizon. It does this ripple thing. It does this almost this dance, and you can see those massive burly swells just heading on out. And I bet even, by the time you get out to the edge of like at that horizon point that you're seeing, those waves are going to be even bigger than that. In the near offshore environment, those waves are probably going to be around 8 to 10 feet, given those strong winds blowing offshore and those near gale force and gale force conditions. So I did want to talk about though how those swells line up at the beach, the height of those swells, and the reason why the swells are the way they are. Swells are fascinating. Swells have a lot to do with surfing and understanding surf. And I've been giving you kind of a, basic rudimentary statement on swell period. You can derive a lot of information from swells. And with this particular instance here at Billy Mitchell, I just wanted to show you how much information you can derive and get an idea of what the conditions are like down at the beach, even though we're not there right now. But in any case, the 1 to 2 foot waves coming in with a primary swell, basically about a 2 foot wave, are definitely rideable, and they're probably pretty hollow given that strong offshore flow. And with winds coming out of the north-northwest at 26 miles per hour. The air temperature down there is not much warmer. It's 37 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's all very cold day down there at Billy Mitchell. No real moderation coming in from those warmer ocean temperatures, which is worth noting. Those ocean temperatures are 63 degrees Fahrenheit, so much much more tolerable. 63 is not what I would call warm. You're still gonna get numb in the feet and hands if you don't wear booties out there, particularly today. It's gonna, yeah, with those 37-degree Fahrenheit temperatures, you're gonna want to have your booties, your hood, your gloves, all of that, because the air temperatures are so cold. But you do get a bit of respite from the ocean water there at 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Weather conditions, like with most of the Outer Banks, are cloudy right now and trending toward partly cloudy as we move on in the day. Strong wind blowing offshore, not near gale force there at Billy Mitchell, but still very strong winds. And the expected high today, not much different from further north there at 42 degrees Fahrenheit. So overall, some very interesting and stormy conditions for the Outer Banks today. Big and chilly for the north-facing beaches, and fascinating down there at Billy Mitchell. All right, so let's get down to our wave models, and I wanted to show you the near offshore environment here in the Outer Banks with that strong storm system. Let's make sure our model's up to date. I was looking at it a little while ago. Yep, it is up to date. In any case, we have that strong low pressure system off the mid-Atlantic that is pumping up some serious waves in the near the center of the storm in the range of 24-foot significant wave heights. Here on the Outer Banks in the near coastal environment, we've got waves in the range of 10 to 11, maybe even 12 feet as you just edge a little bit offshore. And then for the south-facing beaches, we've got near coastal wave heights in the range of in the range of, yeah, 6 to 7 feet. And then as you get just offshore, pumps up really quick to 10 feet there. And so what's going to happen is this coastal storm is going to head on off toward the north and east. For tomorrow, we don't really expect waves to tamp down too much, ranging from 7 to 8 feet for the north-facing beaches in the near coastal waters. And for the south-facing beaches, looks like waves might pump up a little bit as that angle becomes a little bit more forgiving, perhaps with the swell. We'll see. We'll see if those strong offshore winds tamp down a bit and some of that swell wraps around for the south-facing beaches. This low pressure system looks like it intensifies a little bit and then kicks up some more powerful surf in the shipping lanes here in the range of 27-foot significant wave heights. And then by Tuesday, the storm is heading off toward the north, and we have a general calming for the beaches, for the north-facing beaches, with waves in the range of 4, possibly 5 feet in the near offshore environment for the north-facing beaches. And whoa, looks like as we go further south, the waves are actually a little bit taller in the range of 5 to 6 feet. And then as we get on to Wednesday, the 18th, the trend of calming continues for the north-facing beaches with waves in the near offshore environment in the range of 3 feet, and for the south-facing beaches in the range of 4 feet. Overall, the storm system is expected to slowly head on off, but we are likely to see high wave conditions for the next 2 to 3 days here in the Outer Banks. More big waves are coming. For the weather, temperatures are expected to moderate slowly. It's expected to get a little bit warmer over this period, and the winds are expected to come down a little bit. Actually, let's look at the air models and let's look at some temperatures here. This is not going to get you the expected high temperatures, but it's going to give you an idea where we're expected generally at this time of day for the Outer Banks. For the north-facing beaches, looks like temperatures ranging from the lower to middle 50s, which is quite a bit warmer. This is for Wednesday. And then for the more southerly beaches, looks like temperatures in the range of the upper 50s and lower 60s. Quite a bit of moderation. Even as we get into the next day, it looks like there's actually a big pulse of warm air coming in. So temperature is expected to moderate considerably as we get to the middle of the week and actually get very warm again. But the waves are expected to tamp down as that coastal system passes on off to the north. And let's see, do we want to do any? Yeah, let's go ahead and run some models. I do want to talk about the West Coast here a little bit and talk about this storm system. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this model and show you what's going on with the East Coast storm system. It's expected to linger off the US East Coast for today and then turn north with a looks like a big icy snowy event for parts of the Northeast and running into Canada and Newfoundland here as another system sweeps in across the northern central US. And that thing gets up into the Great Lakes by Tuesday. We get another impulse of stormy weather here in the Outer Banks with that westerly flow that then sweeps on out. For California by Wednesday, looks like we've got a high pressure system sitting over California, and this is in the global forecast system model. And one last impulse of rough weather coming in from the north and west for California here on January the 19th in the model. And then as we get on further down the line, we get another system sweeping across the US East Coast, but nothing real lingering, so more of a frontal system. And looking pretty clear for California on Friday in the global forecast system model. And then running in through the weekend, no severe weather showing up for California in the global forecast system model. Little low to the south, but that one quickly races on off to the south and east to become more of a New Mexico, Arizona, Texas thing. As here for the US East Coast, we get looks like a big storm coming up from the Gulf area. And this is, of course, into next week. So the models here can be taken with a grain of salt. General storminess across the east looks like, and out west seems like a big drying trend. And and a coastal low, little coastal low popping up at the end here for the Outer Banks. This is toward the end of the month. Overall, the global forecast system model does seem to show a prevalence for stormy conditions, but nothing too intense for the US East Coast, while the California region for the global forecast system does appear to moderate. Good news if this does pan out for California. However, it does look like there's at least 1 to 2 more storm systems coming in there over the next 3 to 5 days. So please stay tuned, guys, out there in California. I hope you stay safe. Global forecast system at least does appear to be providing you guys with some hope for relief in the 5-day time frame, perhaps even maybe even sooner. We'll see. So in any case, thank you for joining me for the OBX wave report. We're out here today on the Outer Banks. The waves are big and it is chilly. Thank you for joining me once again, and please remember to do everything you can to help protect and save our coastal communities from the impacts of climate change driven by fossil fuel burning. The primary action that needs to happen here is a massive transition, a swift transition to clean energy. And I know we can do it. I am not a doubter. I am definitely a believer that in human ingenuity and that we can get it done. I do not believe the naysayers. Don't get sucked into all of the nonsense out there. Clean energy is a good thing. We will all lead better lives if we do mass deploy clean energy in the form of wind, water, solar, electric vehicles, and possibly some cutting edge new technologies coming down the pike. And our economies will be healthier and we will have the opportunity to save so much of this world that we enjoy, particularly the coastlines where so many of us live and work and generate happiness and prosperity for ourselves, our families, and our communities, and for our nation and for the world. So please join me in advocating for clean energy and doing everything you can to help speed the clean energy transition. We can all do something. So let's just all pull together. We can get this done. Thank you for joining me once again for the